Today, I am going to talk about the skills that are required for speaking good English. When learning any skill, there are few important tools and methods that serve as well as learning the skill for life. These practices ensure that we learn and never forget the same when we are 8 or 80 years of age. These same skills are applicable to horse riding, biking, cooking, or even speaking a language. Whether we are learning a life skill like donning clothes or an academic one like another minor or even a practical one like another language, they all fall under the category of skills. There are a few things one can do to make sure that we don't fail spectacularly when learning things like this. How to improve English speaking skills? So we will see one by one. Many students master the fine points of English grammar but find themselves at a loss when it comes to actually having conversation with native speakers. In reality, the only way to develop fluency in speaking is huge amounts of listening and then practicing. The following are a few tips for improving English speaking skills. Don't forget that listening is the foundation for speaking. When you also want to practice speaking, there are some suggestions for how to improve English speaking skills. Number 1, find an English speaking conversation partner. First of all, it's important to find native speakers to practice with. Students who are living around many English speakers may be able to find informal opportunities to chat with neighbors and local business people. Joining a club or a volunteer organization can be a great way to get to know people informally. If that is not an option, consider hiring a private tutor. A lot of students find and meet with tutors online via tools like Skype or Google Hangouts. Make sure to listen as well as speak. When practicing a native speaker, try to balance your listening and speaking. It is a good idea to prepare questions in advance so that the conversation will flow back and forth. If your conversation partner asks you a question and you answer at length, you can always turn the question back to your partner by asking, "What do you think?" or "What about you?" Record your conversation practice. Recording is a great way to get the maximum benefit from a conversation with a native speaker. When you listen again, you can evaluate your own pronunciation and notice areas where you need to improve. You can also review the content of the conversation, take notes or new vocabulary or misunderstandings, and prepare questions for the next meeting. Number 1, the determination to succeed and a realistic understanding of your goals. There are many times I have seen students and learners get frustrated because they have not reached where they wanted to be, or they feel that things are moving far too slowly for them. Knowing that things take time, that you need to be determined even when things don't seem to be moving fast enough is a good place to start. Number 2 is regular practice. As the saying goes, practice makes a man perfect. Practicing things over and over is as important as learning in the first place. Keeping revising and what you learned in your class by speaking in English with your family and friends. Number 3 is correct yourself. Being corrected when we learn as children is the most effective way of anyone learning anything. Why should that change when we become adults? Having someone correct you as you learn is the reason our education system has teachers and not just a syllabus of books to study with a computer generated randomized test as set intervals. This holds true of language as well. If the someone can guide how effectively to improve English speaking skill, then you have yourself an exemplar to follow. The 4th point is modeling. Stop the runway train of your brain from going down the connection between the latest fashion week and learning a spoken language. Modeling as a term is used when you copy the pronunciation or word in a repetitive fashion over a short period in order to get used to saying in a certain manner. You may or may not be able to do it with a teacher or trainer guiding you in the process throughout your life, like some ghost of Christmas past that only you can see. But if you are creative enough, there are ways to go about something like this. The internet with its exploitation of material is the place to go. Get into a good dictionary website like Cambridge or Merriam-Webster, etc. that has an audio clip for the pronunciation of the word available and even short grammar and usage notes should you choose to read it. 5th point is vocabulary. Knowing the words you are daily is all well and good, but as most educators will tell you, you are never too old to learn something new. Adding small words to your functional vocabulary is as important as brushing up on your old words. There is no denying the creativity required in adding there to other commonplace words like horse or mother respectively. But when the function of language is to succinctly expressive and creative, why not make use of other words and mean the same but leave your listeners scratching their head? And let's face it, the impact value of a word that's now commonplace is not much. So maybe expanding your vocabulary and by practicing those words won't be the worst thing in the world. I feel that you might have had a glance of skills to be followed in the speaking English. If you like this video, kindly share it and comment and subscribe. Thank you.